straight out of the shower. I'm heading out to Vegas today, guys. So I'm gonna do an introductory right now. Throughout Vegas, I will go ahead and film. My hair's kind of messed up because it's still kind of wet. Throughout Vegas, I will film with the HD cam, and hopefully I get some footage to you guys for the vlog. Taking a 4-day 4th of July vacation Vegas trip. So hopefully I can beat traffic by leaving on the 3rd. I really doubt it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be clogged up all the way up there. What am I taking? The mod that I'm taking, it took me forever to kind of decide on. I was really, like every time I go out to a long trip, I always take the Nemesis because it's so worry-free. It has a great track record, with me. But this time around, I'm going to take the GP Pass, just because this is my favorite mod. The GP Pass with the Stellaire, and obviously for the drive, okay, because I'm not going to drip and drive for 4 or 5 hours. I'm going to take the Hana mods that's currently on the charger. I'm going to take the Hana mods with the K-Fun and an RDA. Okay, and the RDA is built to about 2 ohms, and then I'm cranking it up to about 24 watts, which is giving me an incredible weight. My mech mods at 0.3. So that's going to be all I'm taking, except for a charger and 2 extra batteries. Okay, I'm hoping that my mechanical mod I could just vape when I'm at the hotel, leave it there, and just take my Hana mods with me everywhere. But with the battery life of the V3, just the Sony VTC4, it's not that great. What I noticed is not that great. So it lasts me just about the same time as my mechanicals, maybe a little bit more, but nothing substantial. So that's a huge problem, and I'm getting the VTC5s in. Hopefully that extra 500 milliamps will help me out, but for the sake of this trip, I don't have it yet. So I'm going to be sticking with VTC4s. That's what I'm rocking. I was really on the fence about taking, for the mechanical, just taking one mechanical. But what if I have a catastrophic failure for one of my mods? And that's why it's always good to have one backup mod. It's not too heavy. The juice that I'm taking 2. I'm going to take Omega Fruit, and then I'm going to take Delta Fruit, both in the SOS line. So hopefully this will last me throughout the 4-day. I don't think it'll last me. I might have to make some more juice, but I'll buy some when I'm down there, actually. Hopefully that's not the case, but that's what I'm taking. Just 40 mLs. 40 ml, that's 10 ml a day. I usually go through 30 ml a day. So, a little less than 30, 20 mLs a day. So I'm shorting myself 2 days. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated. Alright. So I'm here in my suite. Very, very nice room here. The bathroom's even nutty. Uh-oh, that's not good. I'm kind of only in my underwears at the moment, so I have to cut that out, but the suite is pretty awesome with the fully stocked fridge. What's pretty cool is that actually all room service is comped. I am in a VIP suite. If you could look out that way, the view is just amazing. The room itself is just amazing. I have all my junk all over the place, but it is incredible. The bathroom is incredible. I'm having a blast here. Really just that's about it. I'll update you guys while we go. This is room service that I got here. I got a filet mignon medium rare with Maine lobster. For my wife, fettuccine alfredo. We got some wok fried rice and a chocolate cake. We're just relaxing in the room right here. This is the 55th floor right now. The views are amazing. Just taking a look. We got our okay. I guess we can't show you the closet here, but the bathroom, it is fantastic. It is a little bit messy, but that's it. It's freaking amazing. Welcome to the vlog. I did get a request to kind of show you guys how I build my coils. Now, it's not something that I have as a standard. I build totally different types of coils for different situations. And just for a quick example, my everyday vape, I have twisted 28 gauge. I believe it's 6 wraps on like on a 5/64 inch screwdriver. And this is what gives me the most flavor with a really good vapor production. Now, before I start building coils, I'm going to kind of give you an overview of what you kind of to expect. Coils are very important. Same with wicks and same with airflow, chamber size. Those are the 4 kind of things you got to take into consideration now. Airflow could be taken from both the airflow holes on the side or your drip tip. With that in consideration, a coil is not everything. Okay, coil is a lot to do with it, but it's only a piece of the 4. So if you've been rebuilding and if you've been vaping and you notice that your atomizer is getting really hot and your mod's starting to get hot, it's not from the battery, it's from your atomizer, because the heat starts from right here. What you're kind of missing in that equation is the airflow. You don't have enough airflow to cool down those coils enough, or produces too much heat, you're not going to get any more vapor, nor your flavor is going to get a little bit ruined as well if you don't have the airflow to kind of cool those coils down as you vape, from my experience. So this is all my opinion, guys. But I've been experimenting enough to kind of tell what is what. So if you're vaping and you notice that your atomizer is getting really hot, not warm to the touch, it'll always be warm to the touch. Not even like I could touch it and it just doesn't feel all that hot. But when you touch it and you go, ah, oh, that's freaking hot. When your mod starts to heat up, that's when you should either up the ohms on your coil, meaning use more Canthal, or get bigger airflow holes. Okay, those are the 2 things that you could kind of build from there. Now, going too big of an airflow hole, which I've done before, it kind of ruins the whole experience, because now you have to build ultra low ohm coils, and it's once you go too low of an ohm, in my opinion, the flavor kind of dwindles off. So instead of going too big of an air hole, what I suggest is to get something with adjustable airflow. You see, this is what I'm running at half open. Half open on a 0.3 ohm coil gives me incredible amounts of flavor with great vapor, and this is actually the best tasting vape that I currently have. I've tried many other builds out there, but this is just as far as flavor goes. Okay, with that being said, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. If I go under 0.3, I'll start opening up that airflow just a little bit, but this is perfect because it's warm to the touch, but it's not hot. That means I'm getting, not a battery, but I'm getting good airflow, good vapor production, but most important, at least to me, it's flavor. I've never gotten vapor's tongue, vapor's mouth, all that good stuff that you hear about. I've never gotten that before. I have no reason why I haven't gotten it, but I have actually experienced reduced flavor from time to time, and I switch out flavors very religiously. I try different flavors all the time. There we go. Wow, it's just a huge difference. And I think this is partly to do with the amount of flavor that I get is so much that when I do vape the K-Fund and I start to not taste anything on the K-Fund, if I vape this, all that flavor will come back to me. And then I'll vape the K-Fund later. The flavor is there again. And that's just the reason why I don't think I have vapor smell, because I have so many different builds here that I vape out of, and I switch it up not only with flavor, but just as far as the vape type, how cool it is, how hot it is. It's never the same for me. When I'm actually on the computer and I'm doing something, I have a K-Fun, and it's just, that's what I do. If I get kind of sick of that flavor, I have another K-Fun with a different build. This one's a 0.7 ohm build. This one is a 1.6 ohm build. And then when I take a break from my computer, I have I had them all at 1.6 ohm. I have 1.2 ohms, dual coil, and this one also gives me a different type of vape. Everything gives me a different vape. So kind of the way I build my coils is all different. But, and also actually a little update for you guys in the middle of this. I got the DNA 30 clone chips. So I will be making a DNA and a tutorial on how to put it together. It's going to be fairly simple. If you've built mods before, it's not going to be hard at all. What I suggest for you though is to get a good soldering iron. That's probably one of the most important things you can do. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and build a mock coil on here, and I'm going to say mock coil because I'm not going to rebuild any devices. And that way I don't need a close-up. This is what I do. I have two rolls, and I make these rolls myself. One is a twisted 28 gauge that I have rolled up because I always use this to build my sub-ohm coils, and then I have my 28 gauge regular. Now I have 32 gauge as well. I just don't use it. I do use it, but on a different application. I'll kind of show you that in another video. This is this is still a 28 gauge. I have 32 gauge somewhere in here. I have a whole bunch of different gauge wires, but I tend to stick with 28. Okay, so with that being said, the tools that I use, I have one of these jewelry screwdriver set. This is where I build my coils on. Although you could build your coils on anything, but this is what I use, and it comes out pretty much the cleanest. I have these L-shaped pliers. These are probably one of the most important pliers that I have, because if you see, I could go straight down and I could crunch those coils up and make it a micro coil or a macro coil or something. And that's another thing, is that once you scrunch up those coils, you create more heat. So in situations where you don't want that much heat, for instance like a K-Fun, I tend not to build micro coils on K-Funs anymore. Why? Because first, it creates too much heat. I can't tell when you're vaping. I can't tell when I'm vaping, but where I can't tell is when I go in to rebuild this. When I open it up, the coils get really gunked up, and that's because I'm not cooling down those coils quick enough. It's letting that juice kind of burn on the edges, and I get like black chunks, and it's freaking nasty in the chamber. So what I do is I space the coils apart on my K-Funs, and I get great flavor, and the coils last me forever when I do that. Now there's some K-Funs where I still do micro coils like this 0.7 micro coil. This is just because it's a mechanical mod, and I want that heat, especially because I have to ride out that power. But at the same time, this has an incredible amount of airflow. So let's kind of get down to the nitty-gritty of it. So I'm going to use, let me show you the other tool. The other two tools that are kind of pivotal. One is the cutters, obviously. Get yourself a good pair of cutters. Okay, this is my second pair of cutters. The first one was crap, so I ended up spending a little bit more on Craftsman, and it just works so much better. And the next is any kind of pick tool. It's really great. Now, I'm going to use the 5/64 screwdriver from the screwdriver set. And all I'm going to do, let me see if I can find the coil here. Yes, you. Okay. So I don't have to cut any more pieces out. I go ahead and maybe that was not a good idea. Find a piece of Canthal in here is what I want to do. You know what? I'll cut a piece of Canthal. So I'm going to cut a piece of Canthal, just about yay big. Okay, that's the piece of Canthal that I'm going to use. Put that aside. Clean up your roll. For me, I have holes put in here so that the rolls don't jumble up afterwards. Put your coil away. Now you have your piece of Canthal. All I'm going to do, hold that with my thumb like this. Alright, and I'm just going to wrap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11 loops, which means it's going to be a 10, 11. I'm going to squeeze it together because this is going to be a micro coil. Alright? You're not done though. This is kind of where you have it. Now there's two different ways to torch this. One, you squeeze it with a pair of pliers and you torch it, or next you just install it and then kind of squeeze it together. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I haven't been using my torch. Okay? So say I installed that coil just now, the one I built. I did not. This is a total different coil, but say I did. Now let's grab myself a mod. Any mod. I have about 30 to 40 unused mods at the moment. Okay. And you installed it, you pop a battery in. You go ahead and screw this on. Now this is a 0.2 or 0.18 ohm coil, but let's say it was a 1.2. When you first press it, it's not going to glow even. Okay, this one's glowing kind of even because I built it a while ago, but it'll glow uneven. Now you do what I do is with these pliers. You can use any pliers really, but this is the one I use. I heat it up and then I squeeze it, making sure that I let go of the fire button before I squeeze it. Heat up, let go, squeeze. And after you do this maybe 2 or 3 times, the coils will anneal and get harder, and all the coils will stick together, which will give you a hotter coil. Okay? Now, just as important as your coil is your wick. So what I use is I use a cotton ball, and this you could get this from any pharmacy or Rite Aid or Fawn's or wherever. Just make sure you get hygienic unbleached cotton. Usually hygienic is unbleached, but if the cotton is very, very white, that's not the ones you want, because those are probably bleached. So I'm going to grab this, tear off whatever I need, and kind of stretch it out like this. Stretch it until I think it's thin enough. Now this is more of you go by feel. It looks like it's thin enough, and I'm going to twist it now. I'm going to twist it all throughout the wick. And what I've noticed is people sometimes don't twist this. They want to leave it fluffy. What I've noticed is it doesn't vape any better. If if it's fluffy. Actually, it does better when it's kind of twisted. I will fluff it out after I thread it through though. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread this through the coil. Alright, so once it's threaded through, I thread until I reach a good spot where it's not that hard to pull, not that unhard to pull, and then I fluff it. I fluff it like such, okay? And with this coil setup now, all I do is I start tucking it under and in the back of my coil. So under and in the back. Hopefully you can kind of see this. Under and through the back. And once I get it through the back, I'll lift it up so it hits the back of the coil. And that'll be it. And this one, again, I'll put it under. And then I'll put it under again. And any extra cotton, you can either cut it out, or you could just keep tucking it under till it all fits in there. This one has a pretty big deck, so I didn't have to cut anything. So that's what I did, okay? I put it under, I put the first loop in the back, make sure I touch the back of that coil, leaving the top and the side of the coil, exposed for my airflow to hit it, and leaving the back and the underside of the coil to soak up the juice while it shoots at the top. This is just how I've been baking it. This is an extremely sub-ohm coil. I believe this is under 0.2. I built this because I was testing out triple twisted canthal, so I have a huge air hole here, and then I have this 2mm air hole in the back, but I use it at both wide open, and that's how much airflow I need from this. So with that being done, I mean, there you go, it bakes perfect. Pretty much I went through the step-by-step of me building the coil all the way up. Now this is a prime example of too much airflow. It is not hot at all, it's barely even warm, and I don't get that good flavor. I get the vapor, but I don't get the flavor, and that's probably because my air hole is way too big for this setup, which I probably could even just show you this air hole is gigantic. It's 3.5 to 4 millimeters. So I'm going to cover this with my hand and see if this will help. Yes, I get a crap ton more flavor. So, if you have an IGO W style dripping atomizer, and you drilled one hole too big, or you only want to use one hole, a very good fix for this is to get a piece of tape and just tape one of the holes, and that's what I've been doing, just getting a piece of tape and taping one of the holes. And if you do that, then this would be covered permanently. And oh, the flavor is freaking awesome with this. Freaking fantastic. Wow, forgot how good that vaped. And so that is kind of where I come at with you. That's about it. As easy as that, coil building is kind of that simple. Once you're done, make sure you put all your tools away, that way you don't lose them. But the primary tools I use, of course, is this screwdriver, a good pair of cutters, sometimes a plier, usually the bent pliers, and a pick tool to kind of put in the wick. The rest is airflow and basically the chamber size. For instance, I have this 26 650 28mm dripper. And no matter what I build on here, the flavor is kind of dulled. I really don't think it's the... I do not think it's the wick or the coil, but it is the atomizer itself. So what I ended up doing with this is going super sub-ohm to try to fill that chamber with vapor as fast as it could. That way I get more flavor. So what I do is I'll hit it and then it'll give me a different flavor, so to say. That's about it for my coil builds. I'm going to stop talking about that because it's already getting way too long. But that's kind of what I use. The tools that I use, obviously get an ohms checker and check your ohms. If you don't have this, then just get a multimeter, which just one of these multimeters will be fine. And start building coils away. Now, vapors, tongue vapors, mouth, I've never gotten it, and the only kind of advice I give is that change it up. Not only flavor, but again, devices. You have a K-Fun, you have another dripper. It could be a small little dripper like this, 0.7 ohms, or it could be a big gigantic dripper like the Hades, be a regular like the GP. It could be a super sub-ohm like this. As long as you keep changing it up, I believe the vapor's tongue should not be there. Okay, so I got a dry pull on that. Next up, okay guys, so I'm going to start working on the DNA 30 box mod. And the tutorial is going to be freaking hella long, so I'm going to go step by step. It seems that even if I do go step by step, people still have questions, so I'm going to try to eliminate all those questions as I make that box mod. A little update, the Hello Kitty mod is complete. It is ugly as crap, but at least it's finished. Hello Kitty, hello Vamo PCB, ugly, but works great. So we'll just take this K-Fun out of my Vamo, connect it to my Hello Vamo, or my Vamo Kitty, whatever you want to call it. There you go. So, hello Vamo Kitty, that's complete. Although the back is kind of ugly, I might have to touch that up a little bit. I wasn't too focused on making it pretty, but the front is kind of funny. It does everything a Vamo does. You can check the ohms, the voltage you're vaping at, change it from 3 to 6 volts, 5 to 15 watts, or something like that. But my Vamo Kitty is done. That's pretty much all I have for the vlog, guys. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you have any other questions. Hopefully that my build tutorial and kind of the tools that I use help out, and all that. The next video should be how to build video. I know I get a lot of responses on the how to build, so hopefully you guys could, build your own DNA 30 mods, right? I'll go step by step. It's going to be a long ass video. I'm going to have close-ups and all that, but hopefully I'll get that out to you guys. Alright.